In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how I painted this pink flower in watercolor and Inktense. I'm Abigail and I make weekly art tutorials, demonstrations, and more, so if you would like to learn how to improve your art skills, start now by clicking the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss anything. Now onto this demonstration. To start this project, I freehanded my sketch outline onto a sheet of watercolor paper. Then I used a kneaded eraser to lighten up my sketch outline, that way reducing how much of my graphite lines show through my paint in later layers. If you are unfamiliar with the kneaded eraser, then consider checking out this video that shows you how to use it. You can find links to all the videos I mentioned in the video description. Then I added water to this small area of the background, preparing for the wet on wet technique. If you are unfamiliar with this technique, it is basically just adding wet paint onto a wet surface. If you would like to see another example of the wet on wet technique and over 20 other watercolor techniques, then consider checking out this video. After I dampen my paper, I mix up a blue color and dab it onto this background. Because I'm using the wet on wet technique, the paint will gradually spread out into the water, creating soft transitions in the values. I keep getting darker and darker with my values the further I go. It is much easier in watercolor to start lighter and then gradually work your way up to darker values. Moving on, I started to block in my highlights and shadows within each of the individual petals with a pink hue. I use the same pink for both, simply adding more water to lighten the value of the color. If you would like to know more about values and other aspects of color theory, then consider checking out this video that explains all of that. To make it easier for you, there are chapters on this video, so you can easily find that part of the video. After I've blocked in my highlights and shadows, I let that dry and then go back through with a second layer. Just because the paper is covered, that doesn't mean that the painting is finished. In this case, I had the color, but the values needed to be refined further. In this second layer, I used a darker version of my pink and then added that to the darkest areas of my shadows. Then I let that layer dry before glazing yellow on top. If you are unfamiliar with the glazing technique, then you can see more about it in this watercolor techniques video that I mentioned earlier. Otherwise, it basically means that I'm adding a less opaque watercolor on top of my highlights and shadows to alter the hue while retaining my original values. In this case, by adding the yellow on top of the pink, I create more of a magenta color. Then I let that dry before adding another darker layer of pink to my shadows. Then, once that was dry, I started to map in my grass. I am being very loose with my brush strokes since I didn't plan where to put each blade of grass beforehand. Because of this, I had to make sure that all of my blades of grass weren't exactly aligned, but instead overlapped each other and that the ends of each curved slightly, creating the depth that was necessary to portray the look of realistic grass. I also included variety in the width and value of each to make some look as though they were further back than others. More specifically, I made the blades of grass in the foreground darker and wider than the ones that are further back. I let that dry and went back through with the second layer. In this layer, I darkened up the shadows in each of the blades of grass with a darker version of the green I used earlier. After that layer dried, I went back to the flower and started to refine each of the individual petals with watercolor pencils. Now with watercolor pencils, you can activate the pigment or leave it in its dry form. For this project, I decided to leave it in its dry form, that way creating the look of veins in the petals from my pencil strokes. I used this purple to darken up my shadows, then I added black on top of the purple to darken up those shadows even further. Next, I added another layer of purple on top of the black to create more depth in that area. Many artists will avoid using black since it can often look flat. I, on the other hand, like to use black. However, when I use black, I always add other colors like blue or purple on top of it to get that same black hue, just with a lot more depth. I also added yellow to the pollen, afterwards adding shadows to it with brown. After that was done, I went on to refining the blades of grass, adding light green pencil to the entire blade before adding dark green to the shadows in each. Then I added in some very thin blades of grass with my light green watercolor pencil. And that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, consider checking out this other demonstration or this playlist full of other watercolor tutorials to help you feel more comfortable using the medium. Also, feel free to share any questions you have about this demonstration or any art questions in general with me in the comments. Until next time, God bless.